A while back, MadMunchkin, a prominent creator and analyst in the community, posted a couple of videos on the pony generator and Alicorn OCs in general. On her video on Alicorn OC, she makes some comments on opinions and fully explains her reasonings for such. But as much as I enjoyed her video and her opinion, I have to disagree with the process she advises others to use in developing a pony OC. Pony OC means an original pony character that is based on the lore and the world of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, whether entirely in what is represented in the series or within a particular person's headcanon, including new fictionally created areas outside of realms already established in the series canon, such as Ponyville, Canterlot, Cloudsdale, Appaloosa, etc. I'm going to admit it myself as well. I hate the pony generator because of how it's being used. A lot of people will throw together random pony OCs and post them all over the place, with absolutely no thought put into the pony's name, where they come from, or what they do, and consider them as OCs. Not to say the generator itself is a bad thing, but the way it's used most definitely is, as we wind up getting a random collection of shit to dig through to find an example of what I could only consider a true pony OC. Let me explain further. The example alongside Maddie's pony in her Alicorn video is a perfect imagery of what most people who use the generator do with it. They slap together a pony they think that looks cool and decide to call it an OC without any kind of thought into who or what the pony actually is supposed to be. While I have come to the hard conclusion that not everyone has the time, effort, or experience to become good storytellers, the fact that these so-called works are considered as completed and being posted all over the place are annoying as hell. What little most of them put into them is some of the things that irk me to no end, whether that being dating one or more of the main six or princesses, saying that they have done something with no real story as to how it came to pass, or even just giving their pony OCs some godlike power, like controlling the rift of time and space, or having power over all God's creation itself, or in how reality works. Seriously, I'm not big into fiction, but one of the pony fics I read included nothing less than all of these, all around a single Alicorn OC. This is where Maddie's and my own opinions end on these subjects. I disagree wholeheartedly with her on the aspects that a pony's aesthetic should be the last thing on a person's mind when designing their original character, or any original character regardless of the fan base that character is being designed around. Those who look through my DeviantArt gallery may have noticed I've covered at the very least 3 other fandoms in regards to original characters: Sailor Moon, Digimon, and Pretty Cure. Aside from the recently obvious work I do for My Little Pony, all of these original characters were designed and based off my own observations of the series, with my own personality quirks added to each. When I first started designing my pony OC, I will admit it, I began by using the pony generator myself. I wanted to find a generalized look I thought was comfortable for what I would like in my own character design, which is why she is the blue-coated and pink-maned and tailed unicorn she is today. But unlike just about everyone who uses the generator nowadays, her design did not end there. I intentionally avoided creating an Alicorn OC because of the stigma around it, and that there was no purpose as to her being one anyway. I chose Unicorn because, regardless of what others may think, I consider my greatest asset to be my mind. Mental capabilities and intellect are what I value in myself the most. I am not particularly strong or have great physical endurance or prowess like an Earth Pony, and I am by far not at all athletic or agile as a Pegasus seems to naturally be. However, my studies and philosophical background has made my mind my strongest muscle, and I will always consider it to be the best part of me, no matter what I do for a living. The colors from there are literally just my 2 favorite colors, primarily blue with a secondary and accent color of pink. If I had designed her like any other OC I seem to make, she would have been a redhead, as that's another aspect I pride myself on, as I am born a natural redhead. From there, it was just an aspect of fitting the design to be something I was comfortable with, or at least enough for me to tweak, which is exactly what I did. In fact, between then and now, she even went through a full redesign off of the same base and experience for the pony generator to become a new pony character entirely. Of course, I couldn't just stop at the end of the pony generator. I myself had found it to be a wonderful springboard in the process of designing a pony OC in the first place, but there is a lot more that goes into the design process than just how the character is going to look. After all, a character doesn't become a character until they, at the very least, have an established presence, personality, and background. You can't have a character with no personality, no idea of who they are or what they do with their lives, or something to tell where that character had come from. Postscript, for instance, has a fully established and detailed aesthetic persona that others see in my work, as well as a cemented presence in my mind in the form of who she is, what she does for a living, and how she spends her time, and some backstory that connects her to the world and lore of Equestria, and even a well, at this point underdeveloped, presence of a romantic interest with a thus far unnamed and underdesigned stallion in her life, but in time I'm sure that aspect will flesh out later as well. So in my own process, I actually began with aesthetics, and the character fleshed out into a true character once I had a physical design to work with. Lauren Faust herself even admits in the Brony documentary that in her childhood, she had the toys with which to establish personalities from before she began her own adventures with her imaginary cast. She didn't begin by designing a character to suit a particular idea and made the ponies look around that, because she already had the physical design of the character in the form of her toys before she even thought of what they would be or how they would act. So in the end, my point I've tried to make is this. There are 4 aspects to consider when designing a character, and all of them should be covered in some meaningful way before a character can truly be considered an original character. Whether you use the pony generator to do so is insignificant, but please, please, please don't think the generator is the end of all means. They don't even have to be done in any particular order, but during the design process of the character, make sure to have the full checklist covered before you call your work complete. First, there's personality. This is who the pony is and how they act. Whether that be among others or by themselves, it can include interests, hobbies, mannerisms in speech, or little habits they do, such as chewing on a piece of hay before bed or something. But it should always give this idea that the character is some pony in and of themselves. Secondly, remember a pony's presence. This is an aspect of where they live, what they do for a living, and how they contribute to the world around them. This will most likely be a concept of a particular house and how it's furnished, what their occupation is, what time of day they're active, etc. This can also include scheduled times that they're at certain places, like if a stallion is out at Sugar Cube Corner every Wednesday for a cupcake come 3 o'clock, which would make him recognizable to those working or who regularly visit that store around that time. Third, remember that everyone comes from somewhere. This is the character's background that leads them to be or causes them to react to be a certain way. A pony's background will most likely include parents, siblings, where they grew up, if different from where they currently live, and where they went to school. Lastly, but not the least of such, is the character's aesthetics. This is what most will see of him or her, how the character looks, and what visually sets them apart from others of their kind. In my OC, Postscript is a unicorn with freckles who wears glasses and a flat cap. Her color scheme is also an aspect of her design, and yes, this is the only aspect of a character the pony generator can help with, but if you do make your OC an Alicorn, please have a damn good reason for them being one, and hopefully not one that screams, Mary Sue! Regardless of the order your personal creative process uses, these are the basics of any good character in fiction, whether it be a fan character or a completely original concept. After all, even Harry Potter meets up with all these, and he's one of the closest Mary Sue characters I've seen in popular fiction. I hope that these thoughts and musings help someone out there to better understand the creative process when it comes to original characters, or even designing characters in general. If anyone is interested, I may be looking to actually write out Postscript story in a fiction, and even read the story aloud for YouTube viewers if that's something others are interested in seeing on this channel. For now, I am Postscript, and I look forward to hearing from all of you.